This is Boy Gary at 622. You're listening to the best of the Howard Stern Show. In case you wonder how that last bit ended, Howard took that guy off the air and didn't believe a word he said. And, of course, we couldn't say it on the air, else it would be libelous. Anyway, what we have up next is David Lee Roth was in a couple of weeks ago, and he was really going nuts, saying a lot of things about Eddie Van Halen and the gang. Well, this isn't that appearance. This is an older appearance, but David was still as interesting.
David Lee!
Let me climb in here with you.
All right. Hey, it's war.
Oh, man, it's war out there.
Hey, look how healthy you look.
It was hell until I saw you.
Look how good you look, David Lee.
Good to see you.
You remember the boys?
How are you?
You remember Robin?
Sure. How you doing?
Like a happy.
Here.
He's always happy to be somewhere. You're so up, man.
In here, man.
You missed the girls, huh?
Oh boy, we're gonna have to take a trip to visit. What they're gonna search your new luggage 5 times before you take it out of the store.
Well, I planned it. If I go to Iraq to fight, I'm just gonna hide inside that Delsey luggage. It's so indestructible. Can you believe
it? We'll all be Saddamized, huh?
Hey, look at you, Saddamized, right? Unbelievable. Hey, what'd you do, man? You lost a lot of weight. You're the most fit I've ever seen you.
Out of the ashes shall rise a great bird.
Really? What are you doing, like working out and stuff?
Oh, we're getting ready to go on the road. Got a new record and got the new road show and the single and the video and the interview.
And Robin, look at this. David Lee Roth's new album. Picture of Satan on the front.
Uh-oh.
All right. Yeah.
No, that's a picture of you, Howard. That's a mirror.
Come on. Did you find Satan while you were gone for a couple of years, huh?
I don't know.
You were in hiding, getting into that Satanism.
Oh.
The trouble with born-again Christians is as if they weren't enough trouble the first time around, huh?
So what is that? Yeah, exactly. But what is this? I mean, what does it mean about Satan laughing on the album cover?
Oh, it's just a little play, a little play on what's happening out there as far as the censorship and all of that. You have to consider it in the context of whose album it is.
See, the devil, let me show you this, Robin. The devil is laughing on Dave's new album. You see what I'm saying?
What do you think?
No, I
think he's laughing. The devil is laughing. I think Dave found the devil, and the devil is laughing at all these people who are trying to, fight Satan.
Ah.
See?
It's a little bit of a play on what's happening out there. I think there's a lot of nonsense going on with the censorship. You know, the closest most of these bands get is making a Vincent Price monster movie or something.
Right. So it's not bad.
No, I don't think so at all. Obviously, I don't have anything to do with the occult or Satanism.
Obviously. Yeah, it's so obvious.
It's so funny.
You dress like a Satanist.
On their album.
Yeah, it's so obvious. Obviously.
Well, I put
we see what goes on in your dressing room. Obviously, you are into Satan.
I put a backwards message on the last record, though.
Really?
Did you really?
Mm-hmm. Don't you think that's dangerous?
Well, I was hoping for a little more controversy than we got.
You've gotten very controversial over the years. You know that? Now you have really stepped over the line.
Well, if you spin it backwards, there's a big echoey voice that goes, "Obey." I figured, if they played this in front of a grand jury or something, everybody would be waiting. Obey your parents and use a condom.
There you go.
But no grand jury.
I hope this album sells 666 copies. Do you understand what I'm saying, Dave? I understand where you're coming from. 666 copies?
If I even sell one, Howard, that puts a quick 8 cents in my pocket.
Hey, let me tell you something. It's unbelievable. Hey, how does those record deals work? In other words, it's like a record will sell for like $11 or something. You only get 8 cents out of the $11.
Well,
is that really true?
Come on, after the agent and the manager and the promoter and the cover art and the video and everything, the most I have at the end of a tour is maybe enough for a brand new dual outboard offshore ocean racing yacht.
Yeah, but come on, hey, be serious for a second, Dave. You know where he makes his money? I figured out the whole rock and roll thing: touring and T-shirts.
Ah.
Well,
right? Am I right, Dave?
Well, it all kind of starts in middle and ends with touring for me. I expect that's where I spend most of my time. So yeah.
Oh man, I've got to applaud that.
These are my people.
Hey, so we had that. Now we had the dudes. We had the dude in that you fired.
Steve Vai.
Steve Vai.
Oh, that wasn't a fired thing. That was the usual difference in musical directions, and
he should have stuck with you, that dude, huh? Put out a solo album of all music, no vocals.
What did he tell us? Dave wanted him to wear a suit or something?
Yeah, Dave wanted me to wear a suit, so I had to leave. Now, he didn't badmouth you or anything. He said you were a good guy.
We just
not like those dicks in Van Halen who have to badmouth you every chance they get.
Don't sugarcoat it, Howard. How do you really feel, man?
Oh man, come on.
You can tell me.
What is their deal? Sammy Hagar blows. Say it, Dave. Say Sammy Hagar blows. You got your own war going on.
I don't know what's happening with Sammy. I haven't spoken to those guys in probably 5 or 6 years at this point.
No wonder you look so good. You know what? Let me say something here about David Lee Roth. A lot of people don't know this. He shared this with me one night.
Oh, really?
That's right.
This is something personal.
All he wanted for Van Halen, and I think the fans will appreciate this, all he wanted for that group was to behave like a rock and roll group.
Is that right?
That's right. All he wanted them to do. And,
Well, what
and you
does that
stop me if
mean?
I'm wrong. You stop me if I'm wrong, because sometimes you can't say it the way I can say it.
Okay, go ahead.
All right?
Here we go.
What does that mean exactly?
Okay. Dave felt if they're a true rock and roll band, a true rock and roll band sticks together. Okay? That means putting out albums and touring. True collaborative effort. And sticking to the roots of what made the band great. True rock and roll.
I see.
He doesn't want a bunch of pussy-ass guys hanging around playing a bunch of organs and stuff. Am I correct?
Well, I don't know if that's the exact legal term. you know.
Well, let me just boil it down to the street vernacular. You understand what I mean? These guys want to sit home with Valerie Bertinelli and play chess and read newspapers and attempt to make children. And Dave wants to
Rehab in between.
right,
yeah.
and Dave wants to rape. Dave wants to
and
rape
tongs.
and pillage
Yes.
and taunt. He wants to
Hammer
go
and
out
tongs.
and create damage. Am I correct?
Well, yeah, you know, as long as it's a sharing experience. Yeah, I
What, were they
think that's
bringing
a-
the wives on tour? And
Here's what happened. Valerie, and quite frankly, was nervous that Eddie was out messing around with other girls.
Well, they're about to have a kid, aren't they? I think I might have
yeah,
read
of
that
course.
somewhere.
Took long enough.
I don't know.
That's what broke up the band. So she has to travel with the band, which is fine, man. But I'll tell you something about being a band. You can't have some annoying yanta sitting there and hassling everyone in the band.
not when Dave's handing out the passes.
Right. That's just unreal. Am I right? Didn't that wreck the spirit of the band?
Well, it's fundamentally unjust, you know.
Have I said anything wrong here, Dave?
Well, you know, we all change. We all have little differences of direction, perhaps.
All right, let me interpret what he just said.
All right, what
All
is he
right.
saying?
I can't believe you found Satan. So,
So that's what broke up the band.
doesn't the name Valerie just make your blood boil?
I don't.
Huh? Seriously, does that
Howard,
make you
you put me
sick?
on the
I'm gonna
spot.
say
Is she like the Yoko Ono of that band?
Valerie. You know what? Valerie Bertinelli is a young Marlowe. That's a Marlowe in the making.
You think?
Oh,
Have
yeah.
you heard about this tape they made of Paul McCartney's gal?
We have that.
Played it.
Did you play it?
Oh, I got it.
You're always 6 steps ahead of the rest of the bunch.
Dave, that's why I'm on top.
Does Dave want to hear? We'll play it for you.
Oh, yeah.
If you have that,
Oh,
I'd
sure.
love to hear.
I'll give you that treat.
I've only heard of it, you know, by secondhand at a bar somewhere. Is it as bad as it's supposed to be?
Is Alex the retarded Van Halen? What's wrong with that guy, huh? Boy, what happened to him in the looks department?
I don't.
I'm not saying I'm a good-looking guy. Hey, I wouldn't even say that, but I'm not an entertainer. No one will ever confuse me as an entertainer.
You're the biggest entertainment value bang for your buck that you can get in town.
Yeah,
Howard.
oh.
Let me tell you,
Oh, you're embarrassing me.
It's you and the war that's going on this morning. Nothing
War
else.
schmore. We got David Lee Roth here. There's a war going on right here.
Well, there's a ceasefire right now.
Is there a
until David Lee?
There's a ceasefire in his pants. That's because 5 minutes out of his life he's not making it with some girl. You should see what goes on. Gary should give the story of what goes on backstage at a David Lee Roth
He
concert.
knows?
Was Gary backstage?
Oh yeah, Gary saw the whole thing. It's the funniest. It's the
all-
funniest 5 minutes Gary will ever do in his life.
It's a haze now.
Exactly. But let me just get back to this and what you're trying to say. Before we break for commercial and
All right.
tell everyone, and we'll play some cuts from the album, sit here and really, get into it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying. War schmore. We're happy to have celebrities on our show. We'll stop the damn war
Life
coverage.
goes on, you know.
You're damn right.
On to Baghdad, huh?
Look at that jacket you're wearing. You always have the right clothes on. Look at
Well,
you. Look at you. Look at yourself.
A little something to wake all you little skeeters up here. And
Don't you think a lot of people ripped off your look? Go ahead.
it's possible. You know, I don't know if they're getting it exactly right. At best, I feel like the guy who drives past a traffic accident on the side of the highway is relieved to find no one was killed. you
That's
know.
right. Hey, did you ever do Cher?
Well, no. I
You never had her?
I never did Cher. I auditioned to be Cher's new boyfriend, but I never.
But
got
no,
as
you've had a
far
lot
as-
of celebrities.
Well,
Be honest.
no, actually, I don't hang out with a whole lot of celebrities.
But I'm
I
saying
don't-
you've had affairs with women who are celebrities.
Mm.
Go ahead.
That gets a round of applause in this.
That's why you got to respect this man's music. Because there's a lot of emotion that goes into this.
Oh.
Purely emotional.
This is a guy
impact.
who's lived more life. I wish I could live a tenth of your life.
The dirt under my fingernails is well documented, Howard. We spent 4.5 months in a $15 a night hotel room to make this album.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Now, I read that. You felt you had to get back to your street roots.
No, I felt that how do you record this kind of music and talk about all these places I already visited if you're staying in a
mansion.
a tower somewhere,
Right.
you know, and everybody's calling you sir, you know, I keep looking for my dad. Yes, sir. But
So in order to make this album, the new David Lee Roth album, you literally sequestered yourself in a $15 a night hotel, a flea bag, if you
Oh,
will.
come on, let's walk it like we talk it. You know, the closest most rock bands get to the neighborhoods they describe is watching it on the CNN TV screen, you know. So,
Are you touched?
well, it's like in Texas. Everybody in Texas thinks they're a cowboy or a cowgirl, and the closest they actually get to a cow is standing in line at Wendy's.
Exactly. They're eating cows. I swear to
So
God.
let's go do it, you know. And all the sites, it's come on, all the working girls would line up outside of the hotel 7 days and nights a week, you know.
And you actually spent how many months
4.5 months up there.
putting this together in some sleazebag, flea bag hotel?
Oh, man, let's go where the neon is. Let's go where Mr. Lopez is eating dinner next to Mr. Chang, they just bought it from Mr. Cohen at the Santorini Deli.
And what about your beautiful girls and everything? Would they follow you to the hotel? Would the beautiful women follow you? Or they didn't even want to know you during this period?
Oh, all women are beautiful, Howard. You know
Really?
this.
So you had many women during this, making this album, am I correct?
Well, you know, you got to mix business with pleasure as
You
much
are
as
so
possible,
lucky.
I think, you know.
You know, forget about music. Your penis could write a book.
Put a
Really
pencil
could.
on.
Do it right now, in front of us.
Okay.
All right, just calm down.
let it go.
Okay.
Give me some gaffer tape.
Sure, no problem. All right, listen. When we get back, I'm going to finish the story of what I'm talking about.
I'd like to hear some of the music that was written in this flea bag hotel.
It might be too dangerous for us to hear.
You should have heard some of the outtakes from my penis.
Really? Hey, want to ease up on that word, Dave? I got a problem with the government right now, okay? Just because your life is going well. David Lee Roth, the new album, of course, A Little Ain't Enough, and The Devil is featured
you
on this
recognize
album.
it because the devil's on the cover.
Oh, yeah, and pictures of Satan all over this, all over the
that
actual CD.
What do you think of all this censorship stuff? What do you think of what's going on?
Oh, it's terrific for my career. I'm only about to go to court over it.
Are you really? What's happening?
Well, the government just fined me for being indecent again, and I'm not paying it.
Well, there's no.
What do you mean they find you again? This is the first time you've been.
Well, the first time was a warning. Now they fine me.
And what, they fine you for what's happening here or what's happening on the TV set? Or
Don't give anybody any ideas, please. Just here they
Yeah,
find me
come
so
on.
far. It's happening on the TV set. It's pretty wild, huh? Oh, man. All right, let me take a break here so you can calm down.
All
I'm
right.
getting a little tense.
all right.
I didn't mean to mention Valerie. He hates her. Hates her more than I do.
I don't hate Valerie.
You hate a lot of people. You're just not coming clean.
What can I say to you, Howard?
Why is the second cut called I Hate Valerie? I mean, you know, you couldn't get more blatant. Why don't you try to smoke screen it a little? All right, we're going to take a break. David Lee Roth is here.
Live in front of your naked, steaming eyes, direct from Hollywood after 2 years of no work.
And then we'll get back. Boy, if I could only take 2 years off.
Yeah, how do you get that?
How do you get that? You sell 50 billion albums. You work with guys you hate, even though, you know, you have to. And then you put out a couple of solo albums.
Yeah, I wonder if he's ever been to their restaurant. That's what they did.
Didn't they start a restaurant
Yeah.
somewhere? They started,
Bad.
they started
Down somewhere in Mexico?
Oh, a cantina or something.
Yeah.
Don't you hate when rock stars open restaurants?
It's like when rock stars try to be actors.
Yeah.
Who's tried that recently?
It's ridiculous.
Madonna's doing that lately.
She's an imbecile.
You think?
Of course.
She says nice things about you, Howard.
No, she doesn't. David Lee Roth is here. We're going to listen to the album. We're going to talk to you about the war. I know you have some thoughts on it. You're very
Well.
committed to the war. And, hey, Dave knows we are going to have low oil prices. If those Kuwaiti bastards, who we're saving their ass right now, if they don't lower it to 19 cents a gallon, man, I'm going to go over there and kick their ass personally.
I don't think you're going to get your wish, Howard.
This could be. a
Oh,
tough
yes, we
fight.
will. We know a guy who peed on Madonna.
Really?
We know a guy who actually went to the bathroom on Madonna.
When was this?
I'll tell you about it.
It never made it to the West Coast.
Ever hear of Enough's Enough? The band?
Yeah.
New band?
Sure.
You know Chip?
No, not in the biblical
He
sense.
claims
no.
that's what he did.
I don't know. Sounds like a promo thing.
I don't know, man. It sounded pretty real to me. Robin, did you believe it? You're a newswoman.
Girl said she was Madonna.
The girl said she was.
Dave suddenly,
But it was dark.
Dave suddenly is jealous of someone.
And the band was playing so loud, huh?
All right, we're going to take a break, and then we'll be right back with David Lee Roth and the new album,
Give me a break.
right after these words.
It is 6:42. This is Boy Gary. You're listening to the best of the Howard Stern Show. And Howard and Robin's special guest is David Lee Roth, formerly of Van Halen, and also doing a solo career. And in case you're wondering what all those bombs were going off before, David came in the first day of the Iraqi war. So that's why all that noise is going on. David's really quiet during this appearance. When he came in a couple of weeks ago, he had a lot to say about Valerie and Eddie, but I guess he was biding his time. Here's more with David Lee.
Dave saw my Rolling Stone article.
Yeah?
Yeah, that impressed him.
And the bust, and what? How many free nations are you broadcasting to now?
Yeah. This is the year of Howard Stern.
It is the year of Howard. That's like the Chinese year of the horse.
1991 is going to be my year. You know what I mean? TV, radio, and maybe,
Movies, the stage.
Politics.
Yeah, I got a movie.
You gonna run for office?
Nah, there's nothing in that for me. I can't lead people. I only entertain.
You already lead people.
Dave tried to go over to, by the way, David Lee Roth, our guest.
Howdy.
Dave tried to go where?
Dave tried to go to the Middle East.
Yeah, we volunteered to go to the Middle East over at Christmas time, and because of the escalation
And because he likes hairy women.
Oh,
He told me he'd just like to take a few of those veils and whip them off and maybe get it on with them.
Well,
Still not married, huh? You got a girlfriend, though, right?
yeah,
You got a
I
regular girl.
girlfriend, Sure.
Model? Supermodel?
No, not. Nope. She's about to finish her commercial license for helicopter. So,
Yeah, but she must be like, Jesus, she must be awesome. Must be so tight. Too tight.
that's I called her up the other day and I said, honey, I'm so miserable without you. It's almost like you're here.
Really? But this one you've been going with for a while, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've slowed down on that arena because of the AIDS and everything.
Year and a half, yeah.
You want to be careful, right?
Sure. Well, you've got to kind of reintroduce yourself to people on a regular basis. I get a little tired of that.
But when you go back out on the road, though, you will still enjoy some women, right?
Well, you gotta live it up a little bit, I think. And a big part of all of this is meeting the people, making new friends.
That's
Howard,
right. That's right. So your girlfriend never says to you, "Hey, Dave, you can't go with other girls. You're not. You of course tell her she can't go with other guys, or else it's over."
I think we cut an agreement. It's till death do us part, or a different time zone.
But you're used to having like lots of girls all together in one room. You know what I'm saying? You're used to having 2, 3 girls at a time. Now, if you settle down with one woman,
Well, that's the novelty act now. Doing one.
doing one.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
No, but I know
Howard.
about you. You know how some guys actually live up to that image? You live up to that image.
Well, it's not a thing of having to live up to somebody's.
You enjoy it. I mean, hey, that's part of being a rock star. You don't come. You know what the odds are of becoming a rock star, Robin?
No, but I think you're going to tell me.
They're like 1 billion to 1. And when you hit that,
1 billion to 1?
yeah. Think about it. There's 1 billion groups out there. We know that.
You got to sacrifice a lot. Of all the things I've lost, I probably miss my mind the most.
Yeah, but seriously, Dave, he's unbelievable. You know that? There's a song title and everything he
He's
says.
got 1 million of them.
What's the most babes you ever had at once? 6?
No.
666?
No. Listen to you.
So,
Bring in the next 6.
no, but I mean, do you ever? I mean, if you say to your girlfriend, "Hey, I want to bring another girl here,"
Oh, I don't think I'd say that.
we wouldn't. You would never say that?
I would never say that, no.
Because if she says no, she's going to lose someone like you. You're a great catch. You're young, you're good looking, and you're rich. What better combination?
Yes, but
He's
what
a
happened
god
to
to these
respect,
people.
Howard?
I don't know. I don't see him respecting too many women. He's like me.
Oh, listen.
No respect.
Well, behind every great man is a very tired woman, Howard.
This is a technical question. Do you ever worry about running out of like sperm or something?
Not really. I think
I mean, you
it's-
give away so
That
much.
is the first time he's ever asked that question.
Yeah.
This is a momentous occasion.
Yeah, I've never been inspired to ask that.
Well,
A new low.
I think if you get all the basic 5 food groups twice a day, sugar, starch, fat, grease, and alcohol.
Do you ever take some time off to rebuild, though?
Well, yeah, you got to have a little balance in your life. I managed to, watch what I do during the week, and then we put the Elvis tinfoil in the windows during the weekend now.
I see.
And over the years, I've gone through all my bad habits, and I've arrived at the 6 or 8 that I like the best, and I'm perfecting
And you stick to those.
I'm perfecting those.
I respect that. But you know what? I can't believe you still smoke cigarettes. I mean, you're a singer. Doesn't that affect your voice?
Well,
You can't give that up, huh?
like I said, you got to have a little bit of balance, Howard. I don't know what kind of poetry I'm going to get out of a glass of soda pops.
Right, so you got to live on the edge a little bit.
Cigarettes is living on.
If you're battling cancer, that's something that you can write about.
Oh, dear.
If you're toying with cancer, do you know what I'm saying?
Putting a little risk in your life.
Dave made demands today on the show.
Really?
Bagels and lox and 2 bottles of Evian. I felt like that's pretty cool. Far cry from no brown M&Ms.
We have Ryder.
Let me get back to the Van Halen story. So what I was trying to say, I'm trying to give the whole history of Dave. What I was trying to say about you, in a long career, is David Lee Roth's, I feel his attitude as sort of like the leader of the band. I felt that you were trying to say to the rest of the band, hey, we can't become complacent. We have to go out, we have to see people, we have to greet people, we have to lock ourselves in weird hotel rooms in order to get back into the street. If you're sitting at home with Valerie watching reruns of that stupid show she did, and you're sitting there all day, Eddie, and Alex, and the fat guy, the bass player, the guy who didn't take any pride in his body.
Jesus, Howard.
Big fat guy.
Nice guy, though.
I mean, Dave's working on his body, trying to look good for the band and everything. What's it like if some guy wears a dirty spaghetti-stained T-shirt and big fat belly staring out on stage? You know what I'm saying? You take pride in your appearance, and the band should be sexy and attractive. What do you know, I mean...
You gotta hide the bass player.
You want to look like that, you join Los Lobos, right?
You are cruel.
Am I right, though? Did you say that? I'm sure you said this to these guys. You know, when your bass player's name is Lumpy...
Put another nail in, Howard.
No, but you know what I mean. Even when you put together your...
coming down, Howard.
When you put together your solo bands, you make sure that the guys look a certain way. Am I correct?
Well, you got to have the will, you know. You got to have your heart in it.
Now you've said something important.
You got to have the spirit. You know, rock and roll is spirit. That's why it's so much better than music.
So in other words, what you're saying is those guys lost the spirit, and that is what broke up Van Halen. Because here's a guy who wanted to have a band that would go out and do rock and roll. When a guy doesn't want to tour anymore, what are you supposed to do? Sit around? What, and climb mountains all year? And go to the Amazon and
How
hide?
many times can you go down the Amazon?
Not many. I'll tell you, you know, like I said to Howard earlier, you know, 50% of leaving home is coming back home. If nothing else, you're so delighted to get back into the basement, you know, back into the studio, back out on the road. Yeah. You know, all work, no play make Dave a dull boy. Though,
That's right.
So, you know.
So that was really what it all came down to.
So then Eddie built the studio at the house, so he didn't even have to leave home.
Now, can you imagine recording an album with Valerie walking around? Now, wait a second. Is that rock and roll?
No.
With your wife hanging around? And, you know, and what? She's so special? That's the Yoko problem. That's the Yoko, that's the Linda problem. That's what destroys every great musician's edge.
What would you call that syndrome? Do you have a title for that? What would you call that?
I call it... I call it...
Something...
Tourette's syndrome. Right, Robin?
Tambourine syndrome.
No, you call that bitch syndrome.
I don't know.
Where she's sitting around bitching at him all day. I want to have a baby. I don't want you going out on the road. I don't want you with women. I want to be able to watch you. I know exactly what went on in that band. I loved that band. I really loved it.
It was a great
I loved
band.
the work that you did. It was groundbreaking.
Well, I don't hold any grudges.
I hold those guys responsible.
Howard's holding a grudge. You don't
Tried
have
and
to.
convicted, huh?
Seriously.
We are at war here.
Are we baking a cake or are we doing rock and roll? You want to bake a cake? I'll sit here with your wife. We'll watch her do that. Am I correct?
Yes.
Exactly.
I don't recollect, Senator.
All right, now, Robin, we do... hey, Dave, can you hang with us for a while?
Absolutely.
I mean, you're not in any rush, are you?
If I follow you home, will you keep me?
I mean, whenever you tell us we're going on too long, you just tell us that's it.
I'm here for the duration.
We're happy to have big celebrities in here.
All right, Howard.
We're tired of having Pat Cooper every week. Right, Robin?
I wasn't going to tell him who we usually have.
All right.
Who do you make him think that he, this is the thing to do.
Hey, we had Sugar Ray Leonard in last week. Okay. We had in, who else? We have some big stars in here.
What did you ask Sugar Ray?
We had Raquel Welch. Richard Harris was here.
Well, you got the whole left-hand side of the charts. What did you ask? What question? I'm curious. What kind of questions did you ask Sugar Ray Leonard?
White women. What else?
And what was the answer?
No, he doesn't. He says he doesn't have them, but he divorced his wife, right? No, he's married again.
I don't think he's married again.
Yeah.
Is he retired now? He's not boxing?
No, he's boxing.
Robin came in here when Sugar Ray Leonard was here.
Oh, now don't tell the story.
She jumped on him and goes, I love you.
Oh, that's not true. Does that sound like me?
Hey, Gary, come in here. Before we're going to talk, I want to talk the war a little bit with you.
Sure.
But, Gary, come in here and tell what went on backstage at David Lee Roth's concert.
Last tour?
All right. If anybody wants to fantasize about being a rock star, here's Baba Booey, Boy Gary.
Who actually observed.
Okay. Here's the deal.
Here's how it works. And give every description. Just because Dave's here, don't get all intimidated.
Is he with you?
Who, Gary? Yeah, he is, actually.
Baba Booey.
I don't like to admit it.
So you get these backstage passes, right? So this is at the Nassau Coliseum.
Go ahead.
Now, they empty the Coliseum after the show's over, and you need this pass to get back in. They
Right. It's called a backstage pass.
Right.
Right,
They
okay.
fill up a section.
Go ahead.
Which is about 95% young, beautiful women. Okay?
All right.
95%.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just in the audience watching Dave's concert.
Well, I'm guessing that the way they got these passes are they're sort of given out throughout the show.
Yeah, now, who's in charge of passing those out? Your manager? Because you don't trust just anybody with that.
No, well, actually what happened is I told the road crew, I told them, look, I'll give you each 5 backstage passes because I know you guys work really, really hard, you know.
Yeah, right.
And if you just put your initials on the pass, you know.
Right.
And whoever, I don't want to get into this.
Gary, you get into it.
Okay, so
His whole life is one giant Super Bowl party.
So now, how many girls would you say are in this
All right, so
group?
wait a second. So you're saying that, so there's a lot of roadies, and they each get 5 passes, so there's like 90...
I'd say it was about somewhere between 75 and 100 girls. Maybe, yeah, about
Cool.
that.
Do you see what he just said?
What?
You know how Carson and those guys, the jokes that they say each night, they have the writer's initials underneath so he knows who wrote the best jokes. He has the roadies' initials.
So he knows who picks the best
They
girls.
get extra credit for bringing the best bet.
And then he can weed out the roadies who pick bad girls and get new ones in. Smart move. God, why didn't I think of that?
Hey.
This is purely a morale move for the crew, Howard.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not arguing with any of this. I have no problem
I
with any of
live
this.
for the music, Howard.
These are women who want to meet you.
Wait, the best part hasn't even happened yet.
I live for the music, Howard.
So now you have this.
I live for the women.
Now you have this section full of women.
Go ahead.
You know, pretty young and pretty good looking.
Oh, God, if I could just play an instrument or
I
sing
don't have to
something.
listen to this.
Oh, man.
You have nothing to do with this.
Right. You don't want to hear this.
Now there's 3 guys involved.
Hey, I was on a floor with you when you guys were partying. When you were still with Van Halen. And I told you I was in Detroit.
That's right. With
And
the
you-
Rolling Stone.
And you were in the room next to me. Davis Perret, he comes out of the shower. There's like all these people, his people. This is already, they're done with girls. He's wearing a little tiny towel. And he's just standing there. There's someone blow drying his hair and he's dripping wet. And he's just standing in the middle
He
room.
didn't even blow dry his own hair.
No, and he's just standing there. And there were girls banging on my door all night going,
Let me out. Let me
Dave, Dave, is that you?
Dave, I'm here.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable what was going on. I never would have believed it. And like a schmo, I don't open my door and go, Dave's in here.
out. Well, Howard, do you know how many rock stars it takes to put in a light bulb? It's just one. We hold the bulb and wait for the world to revolve around us.
And it certainly happens. I mean, it is it's such decadence, Robin. I had never really seen it.
You
In
know
fact,
these guys. I've had to drink beer with them.
the hotel tried to transfer me to another floor so I wouldn't see the decadence. And I said, no, I'm staying right here because I'm living here for 2 months in this hotel. It was unreal. It was unreal.
So anyway, after the 95 girls.
Yeah, okay,
are
so
in the
tell me
room.
how the whole thing works,
Okay, so
Gary.
now the next level, there's 3 guys involved in this. A guy with a clipboard,
Right.
Oh, this is like a military
Oh,
operation.
man.
A guy
They got it down to a science.
a guy with a clipboard,
Yeah.
a guy that stands next to him,
Right.
and then there's a guy who roves the crowd.
And the 3 of them.
Right, so the deal is, okay, the guy with the clipboard looks down at a clipboard. He never has to physically deal with these women, so he'll go, he says to the guy walking next to him, he'll go, okay, second from the back row,
No,
red shirt, but not a friend.
Not her friend?
And then the
How
guy will
cold.
yell out.
It's like a sting operation. I wish the war in Iraq was going this well.
Then the guy yells out, second from the back row, red shirt. He points to her,
Yeah.
and that's when the other guy that rows the crowd goes and gives her the pass that lets her into the party.
The
So
next
this is the
phase.
second pass.
Right.
And he'll be as cold as to say, okay, she can come, but not her friend.
I saw that once.
Wow. I saw that one.
Oh, David, you have no heart.
Old man.
In all
That is
fairness
so
to Dave,
cold.
he might not be aware that this is going
Putting
on.
up friends. That's awful.
Actually, you know what? Fred was with me when it happened. Fred was there.
I can't believe you could do that.
Fred, you saw it?
Oh, yeah, we were in the holding pen.
You didn't have the right pass.
No, absolutely, and not the right physiognomy.
That guy Gary from the Howard Stern Show and Fred, they just stay in this
Throw
room.
them out.
Throw them out.
Definitely were in steerage.
So, yeah, you heard that, huh?
Right.
Oh, that's
But in all fairness to Dave, when you finally get to the party,
Yeah.
Dave looks like he's reaping the benefits least. You know what I mean? In other words, Dave's just walking around doing his thing, but it's all the other guys.
Well, wait a second. The girls get piled into. How many girls made the cut?
Probably like half.
Half? 45?
Freddie says 3/4.
And they're all there for you. It's like being king, isn't it?
I am a god to these people.
Oh, man. Hey, you accomplished something. Most of us never do anything.
You know, let me think of a religion.
God, if only we could accomplish something.
Well, if you believe in the hereafter, then you know what I'm here after.
Did you always know that you would be a big star? Did you believe it?
Oh, I didn't know I was going to be a big star. I knew what I was going to do. I was going to sing and dance from the age of 7. I knew that. I told everybody
man.
that, But as far as, being a big star and that kind of thing, it's not something you really work for. I don't think you
Really?
just claw your way
You
up.
just wanted to be a
that,
singer and a dancer. Wherever the chips fell, that was it.
Yeah, you do your very, very best.
Right.
And
Yeah.
play wherever you can. And
Give 100%.
yeah, we never shopped demo tapes in the early days. Never sent out, bios and things to the record company. Figured, hey, if we're good enough to travel the world, then it'll happen on a smaller level. And
That's confidence.
there you go. Well,
confidence.
it's easy to say, but it's a little bit harder to go for.
And you and Eddie in the beginning were good friends, right? Until he chumped out.
Well, the Van Halens and I were never the best of pals. We
You
didn't-
just knew it was a good relationship.
Yeah, there was always conflict, but, you can't have the grand finale without conflict. There's no
Right.
big resolve unless there's trouble in River City,
Cool.
So that's why the music was so fiery, Yeah, we would support each other and alternately compete like crazy, The Breakfast of Champions ain't cereal, man. It's the other guys.
What an attitude.
That's part of...
Saddam Lee Roth. That's your new name. You're no longer David. You are Saddam Lee Roth. Now, wait a second.
Yeah, let's wait a sec.
Now, wait a second. Let's get back to the girls. Let's slow everything down.
Now back to the action.
Let's get back to the war. Not the one in the Middle East, the one in your pants, Dave. God almighty. I'd love to come back as your genitals.
So now the 45 girls get...
Hey, Robin, want to play Middle East with Dave?
No, no.
How do we play Middle East?
Stop that.
Well, you have to get a gas mask. You unzip your pants and pretend that that's a gas mask in your pants. I played with Fred over
We
there.
have to have a drill. They ring a bell.
Ring a
Everybody
bell.
has to grab the gas mask.
All right, so Gary, now you're in the second holding room.
No, now we're actually in the party.
In the party. Okay. And Dave sits where? In the party?
No, Dave just walks around. He just wanders and stuff.
He walks around the party?
Yeah.
He doesn't sit off in like another room?
No, he just says hello. He's greeting people.
Well, I'm here for spiritual guidance.
You greet people. Now, is the move, then you look at the 45, and like Miss America, only one wins?
Do you have 5 finalists at least?
Gary, at this point, have you sodomized anyone?
Just me.
Just Fred?
He just wants to follow Dave around.
Right, just to see what's going on. Live vicariously.
I was with my girlfriend at the time, but I would imagine the move would have been if you just wait long enough, these girls realize they're not going to get Dave, and then you pick up what's left.
That's what pretty much happens, huh, Dave?
I'm not sure who set this up here.
Now, wait a second. So then you're there, and the girls with the passes, the new passes,
Right.
are really all very fine, right?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Okay, so Dave's walking around the room.
Right.
So who actually gets to move on these women? Dave just says hello to
Now,
them.
who else is in the room besides you and Dave?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
the girls.
there's like, I don't know, sometimes record
How many
company,
gangly guys
radio people. There's a lot of people in the room on top of,
on top of Dave?
Dave has to beat the people off.
Yeah. There's a lot of people on top of Dave in the room. And Dave is wearing what? His stage clothes, or he's got into a robe?
A baseball cap, pair of jeans, a t-shirt.
Being one of the people.
Just one of the gang.
Yeah.
And what does he say when he's going around greeting people?
Just, hey, how you
I'm a
doing?
young millionaire.
He says hello, people say hello. I mean, it's very relaxed. It's not like he's hanging out with anybody or blowing off anyone. Just sort of walking through the crowd.
That's decent of you. That's a lot more than most people would do.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's all a sharing experience.
And we'll be back right after these words.
Hi, this is Bob Barker. You're listening to Howard Stern on 92.3 K-Rock, New York's classic rock and roll radio.
Now, let me ask you something. I would like to see the morning go like this. There's obviously a war going on. Robin should inform us of what's going on with the war, where me and you can comment on the war.
All right.
All right?
Sure enough.
Because we don't even know if you're for the war or against the war.
Well, to read off what's happening now, we'll talk about it.
All right. And then I think we should sit down very seriously with this album, analyze it cut by cut, and find out exactly what you mean.
Okay.
All right? In other words, now that we got you here firsthand, we can find out what each cut means.
Okay.
And we get like a little, like, you ever hear like Mary Turner's Off the Record?
Yeah.
And then Mr. Lee Roth told me.
Mr. Lee Roth.
She's very formal. You know why she has that job? She's married to some guy who owns.
Oh, yeah, the guy who owns the company.
Yeah. Because she's no great interviewer.
You know who I ran into last night?
She's a
by the way?
jackass.
Lisa Robinson.
Oh, another yenter. How does she... Wait a second.
Now,
You bring
David
up-
knows her, right?
But this is more important than the war. Knows her. She gets a special laminated pass.
David needs her backstage.
You know, I got to ask you a question. I want you to answer honestly, okay? We know Lisa Robinson. She's a nice girl and everything. Don't get me wrong, okay? She certainly isn't the most published rock journalist, all right? You know, where is she? Where do you see her?
In the Post.
In the New York Post, okay. She had a backstage pass that allowed her access into your dressing room, and she claimed that you needed her with you before the concert. That's what I said, how do you get to go back into Dave's dressing room?
I'm going to be in his dressing room.
Because I was in the holding pen with your sister. I mean, even your sister didn't even get to go. I'm in this holding pen, and I'm yelling at this girl.
In the family.
I'm in the holding pen, and I'm yelling at this girl why I can't get back in. And who the hell does she think she is? She goes, well, I'm David's sister. I go, well, what are you doing here? Why aren't you back there with Lisa and Dave? She goes, I can't get in.
Oh, man.
No.
And then everyone's going around saying, Dave needs Lisa Robinson.
Yes, Lisa's running to get back there before he goes on stage because she's so necessary.
And then Lisa...
Are you sure she didn't have to do an interview or something like that? Because sometimes people have to pop back there really quick. And get
She told me that you need her. And I'm going, hey.
She's always telling us that.
I said, what's Dave need a yenta like you for? He doesn't want to chat it up before he's got to go sing his brains out.
Dave likes it when I visit him before he goes on stage.
Well, I think the crux move is after the show, Howard. And we gave you a pass, but you had to go home early.
Yeah, well, that's always my story. I'm not the life of the party. I'm living a very, boring life?
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't know.
It's no good with it. It wasn't the same, Howard. You know, I've been around the world a dozen times. I've been every backstage, every parking lot, uptown, downtown, the upper crust, the lower crust. And no matter what, by the end of the evening, they all come up to me and say, hey, Dave, what is Howard really like?
Is that true?
Yep.
Liar. Yeah, that's what they're asking you. They're asking you if they can play Oxygen Mask with your pants. Look at Robin behind the glass over there.
Oh, stop it.
Robin Lee Roth. Robin Lee Roth. I know.
No, I just have this indelible memory of that picture. Was it in Circus?
Yeah, with his shirt off.
Shirt? He had everything off.
I remember it like it was yesterday. You got a nice body, Dave.
And he's standing there looking over his shoulder.
Oh, yeah, what's that all about? You were like a young stallion. Man. Dave.
What is that music?
Come here. Want to sit on my lap?
I know this is all having some therapeutic value on me, but I'm just not going to realize it until I'm 6 blocks away. Is that what it is?
Maybe I ought to take Dave down to the homo room where we can open up a few bottles. Relax together. Look at Blue Boy. I'm remembering that pose. My little heavy metal coquette.
You know, that's how I'll always picture you.
Howard.
You never tried that with anyone, did you?
No.
Another guy?
No.
You would never consider it. Even as a young boy, you never had a homosexual experience where like a sword fight or something?
No.
Guys must have hit on you, though.
Never
did a guy ever hit on you?
No.
No.
Oh, come on. Not even Eddie Van Halen?
Before Valerie.
Not even.
I'm so lonely on the road. Valerie hasn't been with me in weeks. Nothing like that, huh?
Not even once.
Hey, boy, did you fire everyone in your band?
No, I didn't.
Hey, you got to be a tough leader, man. If those guys get stale, you got to move them out.
Well, you know.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know.
You know what I'm saying? They don't want to follow you to the Fleabag Hotel. Screw them.
You got to do it like Rocky III. Remember when he bopped Mr. T and he went back for the eye of the tiger? You know, that's what you got to do.
Living your life like a movie. I respect that. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, Robin, we really got to get into some war coverage.
We got to talk about the war, yeah.
With David Lee Roth. Imagine his slant on the war. A man who has seen
Our
war.
special correspondent.
A man who fought in Vietnam.
This is.
He's been around the world, so he can give us some insight.
He's very bitter.
I'm going to give you an insight or two.
Here's a man who ignores every war and just keeps humping.
But that is hell.
Because he even said to me, is it true, man? Is there a ceasefire? I go, wait a second.
I know, you can tell him anything. You don't believe it. This is pretty funny.
Well, I don't know. You know, in the space of 5 blocks, maybe they started a ceasefire.
You don't know.
I shut off the TV and I'm on my way down here. Maybe they had a ceasefire. Maybe there was a momentary lapse of unreason.
Have you met with Lisa Robinson since you've been in New York?
I haven't.
Good.
This is a purely mercenary visit.
I just broke the news to Dave that JFK died.
Oh, no.
Really? When? What happened? Old age? Great president.
Who is the president now?
Yeah, who's the president, Dave? Let's ask Dave, like, topical questions. Who is the president? Come on.
Where are you?
Come on, don't think of a funny answer. I want to know if you really know. Come on.
Yeah, Bush.
Oh.
There you go.
Well, that was easy. He knows about Bush.
All right, okay.
Bush is his favorite topic.
That's true.
That's not fair. Ask him something tough.
Is that a trick question?
Let's see if he knows
Howard?
something. Ask him something tough, Robin.
Okay, who are we fighting in the war?
Okay, yeah. Who are we fighting?
Oh, what is this, metaphysics now? Or is it gonna
Come on, who
deal
are we
with a
fighting in the
religious
war?
question?
Come on, I want to know if you know. I wonder if you're totally isolated.
No, I'm not totally isolated.
Who are we fighting?
On to Baghdad. It's, it's a question of...
Oh, he knows. Baghdad. He knows.
What the country, Dad?
Yeah, what's the country?
It's the country.
See, you don't know. I knew you didn't know.
I walk in
I
here,
knew you
you're
didn't
all
know.
over me like a cheap suit.
I told you didn't know.
Come on.
I'd love to be that busy with women that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's Iraq.
Oh, show off. Oh, look at him.
I think it extends a little bit farther than that. It's not just them anymore, It's
That's true.
It's become jihad.
Well, what country are we trying to liberate?
Okay, yeah. Come on, Dave.
You want me to ask you some questions?
All right, ask
girl?
us some questions. All right, listen, we got to take a break. Everyone's getting a little upset. This sounds like a Van Halen
You have
meeting.
a different life,
This sounds just like the meeting before you guys all broke up.
It does.
Everybody just yelling at each other, and nobody knows anything. Well, you're still tied to those guys financially. That's a pain in the ass. I only wish that
Do you ever have to have meetings?
No, actually, I
No?
haven't seen him in...
Fat, bloated old men.
years.
Smart move dumping them, especially that bass player. Big, fat, bloated guy. You're standing on stage, you're knocking your brains out to look good, you're singing your heart out, and you look over and some guy just letting himself go. Big, distended, herniated belly.
Oh, man.
Right, man? I know what you're saying. You don't have to say it. I'm reading your mind. When you get in the room, I catch exactly what you're thinking. All right.
Listen to you.
I'm a little more important to you than Lisa Robinson. Did that guy fart like a buffalo on stage? I picture him just like, like,
No. When you'd run over to that side of the stage.
I just pictured it like, I like the way the silk stockings and the line runs up the back of your leg. No, this is a total slob.
Low-end distortion.
Panama, oh man, Panama, Jesus, Panama,
That'll take the shine off your rhinestones, huh?
You bet. Sort of demotivates you. All right, listen, let's take a break. David Lee Roth is here. You got time to hang out?
Sure.
And we can discuss the war?
I'm here.
Because he's proven to us he knows about current events.
Yes.
More than a lot of rock
Obviously,
stars that come in here.
As an insight.
David Lee Roth's new album. Have you gotten it yet? Did you get it yet?
No, I thought you were going to give me a copy.
That's insulting. Guy's
We're
trying to
in
make
the
a living.
business, right?
Come on.
We're not supposed to buy.
We don't give away free commercials. I'm not giving you a free copy. Although I'll take this one home. David Lee Roth, A Little Ain't Enough.
I like the new video.
You like it?
Yeah.
What part do you like the best?
I don't know. I just love all your videos. You do great videos.
Yeah, you do. You've always been an innovator. Look at you, Robin. I'm trying to get close to him.
True. I love his videos.
I was going to... Be quiet over there. I love all your videos, Dave.
They do this one thing in the video, this video,
I haven't even seen the new
where
video.
the girl is sitting on the chess machine,
Oh,
and
yeah?
she just keeps changing every time.
That's smart. See, that's what I would do if I had a video. I just have lots of girls working out on Nautilus. What did I try to do on the TV show? We couldn't make it happen.
I don't know. What did we do?
Remember, it was a snowstorm. I couldn't get the Nautilus. You know that Nautilus piece of
You
equipment?
were
with the-
going to bring in Nautilus? I didn't know this.
Yeah. You didn't know about this?
No.
Oh, you weren't at the meeting. I had, that hip abductor machine where the girls have to spread their legs?
The spreading legs thing. Yeah.
That's what I was going to do in the aerobic sketch.
Well, in his video, the girls just outfits keep changing. So the one girl has
Cool.
the two V things over the
nips.
appropriate areas.
Right.
I think there's 140 people in this new video.
Really?
That doesn't even look like a video to me. And
Really?
I was one of the directors. So.
There you go.
If you look at it, it looks like that we made like 4 or 5 other videos, and this is the greatest hits.
What a life.
Sit around the table. It has nothing to do what you see on the screen with the lyrics whatsoever. I think it's a concept.
You're wasting my
Well, see,
time.
that's what I love about it. It's never, just guys playing instruments.
No. Who wants to see that?
You got a story there going on.
You know what the people want. I respect that.
Well, it's
Something's happening.
what we did is we sat around the table, a bunch of us, and went around the table saying, well, what does a little ain't enough mean to you? And once we'd gone around the
Means
table...
girls on Nautilus equipment.
Exactly.
And there you go.
And put that
Not
up
just
there.
one girl.
Yeah, so that's all your fantasies, too.
All All right, Dave, let's just take a break so you can calm down. And then when we come back, let's talk about the war.
All right.
Because the coverage has been pretty funny. Dan Rather almost lost his mind. I thought his head was going to explode.
Oh, I'm telling you, and then when he goes in those emotional swings about the guys he knows who are in it.
And then when we play Dave's record and we go through each cut, maybe there'll be something relevant to the war.
Oh, we'll
I think so.
Something we can relate.
I think so.
Super. We'll be back right after this.
So Howard and Robin's special guest is David Lee Roth. But more important, this is the first day of the Gulf War. So now that Howard and Robin have really interviewed David, they're going to do some interesting Gulf War news.
Hey, we're back.
Yeah.
Me and David Lee Roth just bonding like crazy in here. Very close. Coming out to the house for dinner tonight.
Are you kidding?
No, but
Oh.
I'm trying to quit.
yeah, just trying to stop eating. You know, I was looking up on the calendar. Gary wrote down David Lee Roth, bagels and lox. Make sure they're here. But he spelled lox L-O-G-S.
That's your boy.
That's my boy. That's Baba Booey, a Delphi graduate. It's frightening. David Lee Roth's new album. Everybody knows what it is. A Little Ain't Enough. This is it.
Is everybody open your cassette covers?
Is this the ultimate statement for you? Is this it? Is this the culmination of all the years?
Oh, I don't think so.
This is what you've learned. in
No,
your
it's
past
not a culmination. It's kind of an announcement of a daily kickoff.
Are we seeing a more mature David Lee Roth?
Oh, I'd like to think not.
Yeah, I don't think so. Beautiful. And you wrote all the songs yourself?
No, I collaborated with a bunch of different people.
Really?
People you wouldn't expect either.
Like who?
Well, I got heavy rockers like this fella Craig Goldie and people like Robbie Neville, who really doesn't write rock and roll at all.
Yeah, what happened to that guy? He was sort of happening.
Yeah, he had a few singles, few videos. What was it? C'est la vie and Back on Holly. Don't those sound like DLR titles? Kind of?
He likes girls, right? Robbie Neville?
Yeah, sure.
Didn't you think he was kind of effeminate in his video?
Well, he's cute.
He's too cute. He's a cute guy. I was attracted to him. That's what I know. And I'm all man. I'm 100%. Never look at guys in that way. Except for you, Dave. You understand. You've never been hit on by a gay guy. I can't believe it.
Not really. No.
That's kind of frightening.
It's not that kind of an appeal, I don't think.
Gay guys would be hitting on you constantly.
I know I'm never hit on by gay guys, but I can see why. I'm probably the most hideous heterosexual there is. I'm a pretty hideous-looking guy, I know. You can say it, Dave. Go ahead. Worse than that big, fat, bloated bass player in Van Halen.
Oh, come on.
What's his name again?
In Van Halen?
Yeah. A big, fat, bloated guy. What's his name with the spaghetti stains all over his T-shirt?
Michael Anthony.
Chubsy Ubsy? Is it Chubsy Ubsy? Oh, Miss Crabtree. Is that true? You called him Chubsy Ubsy?
No, it's not true, Howard.
Doesn't it annoy you, though, when you're working hard to keep in shape and then some guy just doesn't care because he gets to play bass and you're working on your voice and trying to be good-looking and stuff and everything and keep yourself together?
I don't know. I don't even remember why Van Halen broke it up. It's been a while.
Anybody care about the war, Robin? Are you following events?
What's happening with the
Absolutely.
war?
I am interested in what
All right, let's find out. Before we start playing the record and everything, because we got some time with you, right?
Sure.
Come on, Robin.
Oh, stop it. I thought we'd have done this already.
Yeah, so did I.
Who?
Are you in favor of the war, Howard?
He wasn't. He was wavering in the days before.
I lost confidence, and then I said to myself, look, here's the bottom line. We need oil, right? We're an industrial society, right, Dave? Mm-hmm. You said it to me during the commercials. We are an industrial society. We need oil. As a student of history like you and I are, we both know we need oil. Mm-hmm. You might as well be invading I would rather trade Maine. I'd let them invade Maine. I wouldn't put up a stink, because that is a worthless state. Am I correct?
I'll go with you on it. Go ahead.
All right. Kuwait to us is like, that might as well be America. Kuwait, America.
It's one of the more important states.
It is, because we have our emir there. He gets us the oil, a little cheaper than the rest of the Arabs, and we got a nice deal going there. When it dries up, we don't care who invades. Right?
Right. There was nothing there before, and we didn't bother them.
Saddam Hussein is trying to control our oil markets.
Well, you know what? One of the problems that occurred last night was some of the Iraqi missiles did hit a refinery in Saudi Arabia, which may cause some problems getting oil and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We don't know how much damage there, but 2 tanks had gone up in flames and stuff. The latest information of the war's battle is expected shortly, as I said, when Dick Cheney meets with the press to tell them what's going on. Meanwhile, Saddam Hussein reportedly has been getting a first-hand look at some of the damage inflicted by the Allied bombs.
Oh, yeah?
They say on Baghdad radio that he's been inspecting military bases and has made a tour of the capital city.
That's the first station I ever worked for, Baghdad Radio.
What was your name?
I couldn't get a job in the States, and I had to actually go learn my craft in other countries.
And look what happened.
Hey, I'm on top now, and that's all that counts.
But he remains defiant, Howard. He's not backing down.
Do you believe this guy?
Apparently, what he saw didn't make him think that he'd better stop the war.
He's as stubborn as Valerie Bertinelli during a band argument.
He called President Bush the Satan in the White House.
Right.
Do you think?
Well, I don't think so.
You know, I don't know what's...
With what the FCC's doing to me, though, I'm not surprised people are calling him the Satan in the White House. Well, Dave, you know about Satan.
Forces against him treacherous fools.
What was that, Robin?
He called the forces against him treacherous fools, reserving his harshest criticism for the king of Saudi Arabia. He called the king, or he avowed that the king would rot in hell for his part in the attack.
Don't be afraid of this guy. Once we kill him, everything's going to be just fine. But he has to die.
He's going to triumph over the U.S. forces.
No, he has to be killed, Dave. He has to be. Because otherwise he'll come back to haunt you.
I would think so. You know, if you give him another 18 months, then, you know what, you're dealing with a nuclear bomb at that point, you know.
And you're dealing with terrorism.
Yeah. I don't know if just fixing his wagon at this single point in time is going to stop the whole process. It's kind of a religious question now. It's all the holy war question and on and on. You know, I'm wondering if it's not him, who else is going to take his place?
Well, I understand in Jordan, a lot of people are rallying around Saddam Hussein. He's really popular in Jordan. So when they heard that the war had broken out, at first they were stunned, and now they're demonstrating in the streets, I guess, to show their support.
He would have invaded Jordan eventually. We saved them.
Well, there's no oil in Jordan, is there?
That's right. We wouldn't have saved them. I don't know.
It's pretty cut and dry.
I understood the girls backstage at your concert. I don't follow this thing.
Oh, dear. And directly at 9 o'clock last night, the President of the United States went on the air, Howard, to explain his actions.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
This is our president.
While the world waited, Saddam sought to add to the chemical weapons arsenal he now possesses an infinitely more dangerous weapon of mass destruction, a nuclear weapon. And while the world waited, while the world talked peace and withdrawal, Saddam Hussein dug in and moved massive forces into Kuwait.
What do you make of that, Dave?
I kind of buy it.
You do?
Yeah, I kind of think that's the case over there. You know, hey, peace at just about whatever the cost. You know, war is not fun and games, and we can only pray that, you know, our guys and gals in uniform over there come back healthy and happy. But, you know, it's more than just gas in a Buick, I think. You know, what about the gas and the fuel and whatnot that controls the heating in the hospitals, you know, and in the schoolhouses and on and on. I think it reaches just a little bit farther than just luxury items, you know, and I think a lot of people are concentrating purely on that.
But what about waiting for the sanctions?
What about the fact that our political commentary is coming from a rock star? I'm a little frightened by this broadcast.
Oh, stop it.
We are taking political commentary from a man who has women backstage.
I figure he's got as good a credential as Connie Chung any day.
Well, that's true. She's in show business and Dave's in show business.
Yeah.
Well, this is a bizarre way to sell albums, though, isn't it? Sitting here talking about the war. I don't know what your game plan is, man, but you are way ahead of all of us.
Let the president tell us why he didn't feel waiting for the sanctions would work.
Sanctions were tried for well over 5 months.
That's true, Dave.
We and our allies concluded that sanctions alone would not force Saddam from Kuwait.
Right.
While the world waited, Saddam Hussein systematically raped, pillaged, and plundered a tiny nation. No threat to his own.
Here's something you've never done, Dave, in your long career. Raped and pillaged an entire nation.
Not an entire nation.
No.
Subjected the people of Kuwait to unspeakable atrocities.
So there.
Exactly.
Couldn't wait any longer. And what does he expect this effort to get us?
Who knows? I don't know if this is if this is the right way to go, but...
Dave, in all fairness, we're asking the president.
I was asking the president, yeah.
No
I
offense.
expect you to have the answer.
You're a big star, and I'll give you all the respect you want. I'll get you 50 bottles of Evian. I don't care, but we were asking the president.
Let the president
Ask the question again. What is it, Robin?
What does he expect to get? What are the objectives here?
Dave's real in touch, huh?
Iraq will eventually comply with all relevant United Nations resolutions, and then, when peace is restored, it is our hope that Iraq will live as a peaceful and cooperative member of the family of nations, thus enhancing the security and stability of the Gulf.
I ought to call that Iraqi embassy now that I got Dave here.
Yeah,
They'll probably talk to him.
Do you think?
You think he could get him to the phone?
I'll call Kuwait at least.
They're not going to answer the phone.
Would you mind talking to them, the Kuwaitis, and asking them if we can have cheap oil now? Dave, because I tried yesterday.
I don't think I can get us in.
You're a superstar. You don't understand what it means when you call.
I don't know. The embassy's a little uptown for me, Howard.
Gary, bring in that phone number now. David doesn't realize his healing powers. Have you ever tried to do any kind of diplomacy? Well, you couldn't solve that little Van Halen problem, could you? Yeah, some diplomat.
I don't think
I'm the exact right guy.
Yeah. Can't even solve your own band problems. Smart going solo. You must have incredible amounts of money from going solo.
Don't have to split it up anymore.
Oh, God. A tour? You don't want on a tour? If you got to split it, you had to split it equally with each band member, right? When you went on tour.
Yeah, it was pretty much democratic all the way through at that point.
Where were you when you heard about the war, Dave?
Yeah, Dave, where exactly were you? That's a good question.
In August, I was...
Oh, the war yesterday.
No, the war yesterday?
Yeah.
I was out in New Jersey.
What were you doing?
I was traveling to a radio station.
You were doing an interview?
I was getting ready to.
And that's when you found out?
Mm-hmm.
And you turned around and wanted to do the interview?
And no, we walked into the station, and everybody was gathered around the TV sets, and I didn't think it was exact right time for me to step up and take a microphone.
And you left?
Basically, yeah.
Really?
Oh, it was, it wasn't like I stomped out the back door or something.
Right.
It's just...
Everybody felt that it was best that you didn't go on?
I felt that, everybody seemed to agree. It's, come on.
What are they, nuts?
Priorities, man,
Yeah, well, it didn't stop that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last night.
No, that went right on. So
Those
Leadbelly
old guys
could be
kept
rewarded.
Giving their speeches and telling their stories.
I never saw so many old black musicians gathered in one place. For God's sakes. Aren't there any white people in rock and roll?
None of its roots, apparently. Its roots are all black.
And do you believe Dave when he says he wouldn't go on the air? I know him.
What do you think happened?
He was there accidentally on the wrong day. His manager got there. He's trying to be a big hero to everybody.
Well, guess what? There were a bunch of reporters in the press room at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they found out the news from David Crosby. We have David Crosby telling the reporters what's happening.
He's briefing the press.
There you go.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Crosby. I have a short statement to make. And this is the actual statement?
This is what he went into the press room after he got his award.
Okay.
Your first and best piece of news is that ABC is reporting that an airstrike has just started on Baghdad.
So there.
All high and mighty.
Wild times we live in, huh?
Yep. Well, it is very sad, isn't it?
And then Don Henley tried to get a little topical when he was making his speech as he was about to induct the Byrds into the Hall of Fame.
You know that guy, Don Henley?
Not in the biblical sense, yeah.
No, but I mean, do you know him?
Sure.
Professionally?
Mm-hmm.
Very taken with himself. Very taken with himself, Dev. No, you're a regular guy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You still have a grip on reality. And we've interviewed Don. Nice guy, knows how to do an interview. Gives you what he has to give you. But a little...
he always comes with instructions.
Yeah.
How to handle Don.
Yeah, we couldn't talk about the Eagles.
Right. We weren't even supposed to bring up the Eagles.
Hey, dude, what do you mean not bring up the Eagles? Like it's a major chunk of your life.
I would agree on that.
You're not uptight. You talk about everything.
Yeah, you don't just chop out years of your life and say, oh, no, that was no good. And that was a mistake. And what have.
So anyway, let's listen to Don Henley.
All right.
His little speech.
Okay,
let's hear his little speech about the war.
I want to say that the mysticism and the transcendence and the peaceful spirituality and optimism of that kind of music is something that is sadly missing from the airwaves today. And in light of our present situation, we could really use some of it now.
Oh, it's easy for him to say. Who wrote that speech, Mike Love? What is that? What does that all mean? Dave, you interpret. What does that mean, what he said?
Can you roll it one more time?
Forget it.
I missed the third special of the day.
I'd rather get to your record, quite frankly.
So anyway, as I said, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Awards went on in spite of the fact that a lot of people didn't know how to handle the war situation. You know, there was a lot of murmuring in the room as everybody was, you know, doing their inducting.
And Dave had to leave a radio interview because of the war.
Well, you know.
Can you imagine some poor...
priorities, man.
Can you imagine the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Some poor old black guy.
One moment.
He's been living in a trailer now for the last 25 years, waiting to be recognized for his contribution to rock and roll. He wrote some really good songs that Bonnie Raitt went out and re-recorded. And it's just really exciting, okay? Because he's never gotten any money. He's been ripped off by the white man, the whole thing, right?
Right.
He, you know, this is it. He's taken his first shower since the 50s, all right? Somebody cleaned him up, all right? They drag him into this hall. He's going to get his big award. No money, but a big award. And it's exciting to be recognized by somebody. He's going to get to be in a jam with the Byrds and everything. Big all-star jam.
Wow.
Yeah, you know? They drag him out on stage. There's a war, and everybody's ignoring him. His one big moment in the sun. Can you believe that?
Remember John Lee Hooker yesterday? He was begging Saddam not to start a war because he knew...
Where is that tape? Let's play that for Dave.
What a bummer it would be.
Here's John Lee Hooker. John Lee Hooker was one of the old black guys, right?
Right.
Now, here's a guy no one wants to hear from him.
Wait a minute. You answer the question. Is John Lee Hooker one of the old black guys, Howard?
Please, come on. Of course he is.
I'll tell you about Kuwait if you tell
Hey, you thought Kuwait was raped? John Lee Hooker was raped last night. There, listen to this. He's begging Saddam Hussein, please, don't start anything. It's my big night. After this, I go back into obscurity.
Saddam, please don't start no war. Saddam, this is John Lee Hooker. I don't want to get hurt. So please, I got to fly back on this plane. Just don't mess with it.
Well, hey, look, you'd be upset too. You'd have trouble speaking English too if your big night was going to be ruined. You know that.
Oh, dear.
I don't know. Boy, last time I went to Japan, the emperor died.
Dave, what did John Lee Hooker just say? You're a white guy who knows street lingo.
Well, he said, all
right, now, Gary, would you bring me the number for Quake? Because here's what we're going to do in the next half hour. We're going to analyze Dave's album.
Okay.
Let's come back and analyze Dave's album.
All right.
So we really know what's going on in your mind.
Okay.
Oh, I got to tell you one more thing.
Yeah.
This is something that happened here as a result of the war. You know, a bunch of anti-war protesters took to the streets last night, sort of spontaneously, and they were all around, I guess, Times Square, and then they went over to the UN, and some of them jammed the Brooklyn Bridge or something to protest the war. And somehow or other, a car came and plowed into a bunch of the protesters who were on
of course.
The Brooklyn Bridge.
You don't go on the Brooklyn Bridge and not expect cars to plow into you, for God's sakes.
I mean, 5 or 6 people were seriously injured as a result of that.
I am all for protests, Robin, but to protest in front of a bridge, I have got to get to work.
But this was at 2 in the morning, Howard.
I don't care what time it is. I have things to do. I mean, to block traffic is wrong, right, Dave?
Yeah, Howard. One nuclear bomb ruined your whole day, huh?
Right.
But the problem was that I think I had some unverified reports that the people who weren't hurt when this car plowed into the group, dragged the driver from the car and started pummeling him.
Oh, yeah?
I thought this was an anti-war protest. They were against violence.
Some hippies beating up the guy who drove the car.
Boy, oh boy, turnabout, huh?
I'm telling you, all of a sudden they saw a reason to fight.
They beat him with peace signs, giant wooden peace signs over the head. Come here, you rat bastard.
Yeah, no driving.
No driving, communist. All right, why don't we take a break?
Goodness. Only in New York.
We'll have some more war coverage later, but I think while we have Dave here, Robin, we really need to go through the album.
Yes.
I mean, and really get into it.
All right. In depth.
It's an honor to have someone here of your stature and to go through the music and actually get your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Robin and I love doing this.
All right.
By the time we're done with you, you're going to be dizzy.
You won't know the music had this much meaning.
You're going to be sorry you put out another album. We got to go through it and really understand what you're saying, Dave.
Just the stuff.
What an honor to have David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
His new album. Standing ovation.
And now
a commercial word.
This is 66.
All right. David Lee Roth here.
We're back.
By the way, I believe Robin is to be applauded. Well, here you are. I think you're to be applauded for the excellent coverage of the war.
I think so.
Unbelievably so.
You took us around the world in a half hour there. And let me tell you, you did a much better job than Channel 9 did. They were running the Home Shopping Network during the war. Bastards.
How could they do that?
What a disgrace that we worked there.
Did you work on Home Shopping Network?
No, we work at Channel 9, though. That's where we do the TV show, Anna. Real embarrassing, I know. It's not a big network, you know what I'm saying? Humble beginnings.
You gotta be a seed before you're a flower, Howard.
Exactly. That's what I keep telling Robin. Jackie Penthouse, Joke Page Martling. War or no war, the show goes on. You know, I asked him last night, he was playing. He said the place was packed. Nobody cared there was a war going on.
Did you even stop, Jackie?
Did you stop and say anything from the stage?
Yeah, we said a few things.
We joked about the war.
Yeah, a whore goes into a bar in Iraq.
Everybody got bombed.
Did you have a joke for the war?
No, not really.
Any-
Because it's not.
No Saddam Hussein humor?
No, that's not the kind of thing you want to, keep reminding people of while you're trying to do jokes.
I just spent 4 hours doing that.
You know what we had to do?
4 hours of my life.
It's good work if you
At
can
the
get
Rock
it.
and Roll Hall of Fame, we had a moment of silence. I just remembered that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they made everybody be quiet
Well, I had a
for a
moment of silence
minute.
was just after a real bad joke.
Yeah, I know.
That was his personal moment of silence.
I don't think anybody asked for it.
That moment of silence at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was for John Lee Hooker's career. Poor guy. And as a matter of fact, Dave, Jackie is a bit of a songwriter himself.
Ooh.
Should I play a little
Maybe
for
you
Dave?
want to collaborate with him.
Yeah, maybe you want to collaborate. Let me
Oh, boy.
let me show you what kind of work.
Are you going to sing a song?
Well, he has a song that we could play, but
Sing a song.
oh, it's much worse than that.
Hey, what have I got against music, huh?
All right, now let's analyze the album here. Let's start with track 1. I got the CD player on.
All right.
Okay.
See, because I would like to have him listen to Jackie's.
Oh, we will.
And see if he would ever take this tack to write a song.
Hey, do me a favor. Can you sort of listen to Jackie's song and critique it for us?
I would love to. I think that would be infinitely more interesting than just, rifling through our album right away here.
As an artist, as a singer-songwriter, you yourself can tell him if he's on the right path, right?
Hey, man.
Here's the collection. Here's the full body of his work.
Oh, there's more.
Wow. You've got a lot there.
All right, listen to this. This is called Flies. Okay. This is Jackie live from a club, okay?
My father's place.
Flies, flies, come on. They get on my nerves. Maybe flies is all that I deserve.
You wrote it. Why are you throwing papers at us?
When I was a kid, I didn't eat dirt, not Jackie. He was too wise. Just made pies out of mud and sold them to the other guys.
You understand that.
Guys.
David understood that.
David wants to smack you like a bitch.
Because he loves it.
Cut the tape a little.
Flies. You're young and you're strong. Come home.
Bonnie Fly.
Flies.
What melody did you rip off for that?
I didn't know there was a melody. Gene, you're
That's
young.
Born Free.
Isn't it Gene, you're
The
young?
opposite of Born Free.
That song was written long before Gene.
Oh, yeah?
They ripped you off.
Oh, Jackie, you should be in court right now.
Maybe they subliminally stole it from you.
Hey, aren't you suing some guys for sampling your one of your songs?
Yeah, I think we're involved in that. What is it? Luke Skywalker, the Two Live Crew
Oh, that guy.
did an old Van Halen thing or something.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of that. Ripping off
You
licks.
gotta watch those
The
guys.
Milli Vanilli syndrome. Huh?
Exactly. It's not
How
right.
did you figure it out? You didn't actually buy their record.
No, and some people called,
Yeah.
and
And you
said,
checked it
hey,
out?
whatever, and check it out, and I don't know, it's the age of sampling. On the other hand, I think Milli Vanilli's biggest crime was they're the ones who got caught.
Right. Stupid fools. Anyway, all right, let's get to the album, all right?
Okay. Enough of Fly.
Yeah. Any chances anyone sampling Flies? No chance, I think. Flies.
Fly.
Isn't it terrible when people make a mockery of your work? You see, that's why it sucks to be a rock singer. Because if you are a legitimate rock and roll star and you put out a body of work that people appreciate, you got all these yo-yos running around like Jackie
Oh.
Saying this.
saying they're rock stars too. And it just degrades the entire
You're
business.
not in his industry, Jackie.
I was in that industry for
Oh,
a long time
please.
just because I didn't make any money.
You want to go
And that
stand in the
song-
corner?
No, I will not.
Flies.
Flies.
Nobody ever heard a song like that.
Good in my day.
What's a man who sat in a room and created greatness? Jamie's Crying. You ever hear that?
Go ahead.
How long did that take you to write, Jamie's Crying?
Oh, I think that one was like 3 days. Jesus. Put that together. Somebody sampled that, too. I think it was the biggest selling rap single of all time.
That's
It was,
right. Wild Thing. Tone
You're
Loc.
kidding.
Tone Loc, no. That whole drum piece with the guitar.
Yeah, that was all.
Wow.
Yeah.
He couldn't sue over that because he didn't use enough, right?
No, I think they used enough. It's, nobody was thinking about suing or, that it really
Right.
meant anything at the time. Now everybody's doing it.
Whoa.
All the rock bands do it. All the dance bands, everybody's into it.
I know. All right, let's get back to this. First track. A little ain't enough. A little ain't enough.
Little.
It's a L-I-L with the apostrophe because
Yeah.
the single is smaller than the album.
A little ain't enough. I wonder what that means. Are you saying that, is this about something personal in your life? A little ain't enough? Because
Will
in
we
other
be
words,
able to tell from listening to the lyrics?
Yeah, absolutely.
in other words,
Absolutely.
what you're saying is that because you live life on such a grand scale, a little's never enough. You go all the way. Or is it a genital reference?
A genital reference.
Well, they're all genital references.
In one way or another. All right, let's listen to a little bit.
Bed is the poor man's opera, Howard.
Here we go.
Figure out
See what it is.
what his inspiration was.
Here goes David Lee Roth.
It all comes together around the second verse.
Now, who's playing on that?
You got a little Jason Becker and Stevie Hunter on the guitars there.
Yeah, let's not give them any credit. All they did was play. You wrote all this stuff.
I did this one with Robbie Neville.
Oh, this is Robbie?
Empty pockets never stop me from singing a blue street.
Gotcha.
I don't think the devil's ever gonna give me back.
And the voice is strong.
Give it a 4, you can dance to it.
I can dance to this. You don't want to see it, though. This is the part where the girl's pumping Nautilus, right?
Yeah.
I got to see that video. You know what kills me? Let me stop this for a second. The guitar playing is every bit as good.
Yeah, sounds like Van Halen.
That's what I'm saying. You can find musicians who can duplicate all the neat stuff that's in your head without having to put up with Eddie's crap. Do you understand what this means?
Well,
that means David wrote all of Eddie's crap, and
know what
Eddie
it
just
means?
sat there and just played it.
It means he's free.
Well,
You are free now.
You know,
My friend, wait a second. Don't say anything. You are free.
Do you realize that?
You are free of him. You are free of him, Valerie, that fat little porky bass player, Chubsy Ubsy,
And
and the retarded Van Halen,
Yeah.
Alex. You are free of every one of those guys. You got guys who are every bit as good musicians and can interpret your work.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know what I did right in a previous life, but it must have been something,
You don't have to put up with his stupid wife being in the room every time you want to have some guy perform the licks that you wrote.
Well, there you go. Look, I'm your music director, man.
Jesus, that's great.
Hook
you know,
yours
that
to
must
mine,
have
folks.
been like I Love Lucy at the end of that band. With Valerie always coming
Right.
Eddie, I want to go on tour. Ah, honey, don't you stop bothering me.
You want to be in the show? Come here. Come a little closer. I beat you. That's what he should have done. Should have smacked her. Tell Robin what you were telling me, how much you hated One Day at a Time. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
Should have heard him in here. It was like a
Really?
wild banshee running around. Oh, man, you are free. You are free, my friend.
Free, huh?
I'm so happy for you. I feel like crying.
Oh,
I feel like crying. That's how happy I am when I see somebody free.
you didn't cry when the war started. You're going to cry about this?
Hey, war is inevitable.
War is inevitable.
You take Valerie, you smack her around until she's cross-eyed as Bonnie Franklin, then she doesn't want to go on tour. Right?
Eddie, come on. David doesn't want to take me on tour.
Eddie, I want to have a baby.
Ah, honey, why you a spat? A spat, Eddie? Fly, what are you doing here? Expect? What's with your language? You've been in this country 25 years, you can't say expect?
Eddie, Mackenzie won't share her Coke. Honey, we got enough money. We'll get you some of that.
You get your own Coke.
You got your own stash. David doesn't want me on tour.
Howard, you're merciless, man.
Well, of course, Valerie wouldn't do coke. It's too, too perfect.
Eddie, I can't take it. I can't tell if Bonnie Franklin is looking at me. She's so cross-eyed. Shut up, you're whining, Valerie. Me and David are trying to write great music together.
Never went well.
Oh,
Just never went well.
boy,
Right?
boy. You know, I don't know.
You don't know what to
the
say.
hell you want me to say, Howard?
Eddie, Pat Harrington goosed me on the set and exposed his genitals to me. Honey, poor Pat Harrington. He never gets any. Why can't you be gracious?
Hold on.
All right.
Pass on the reunion.
There you go. Is there supposed to be a Van Halen reunion? No way.
Oh,
you don't want that.
No, there's
You're free.
nothing at all in the air.
You are liberated from those guys. Do you understand what that means? If only I could liberate myself from Fred. Somehow I'm tied to him.
Nobody can recreate Fred's sounds, though.
All right, listen. Let's get back to the music. Because in fact, according to the CD, we're only 10 seconds into this song. And we got a whole album to go through.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back with David Lee Roth. We're in the middle of playing a little.
We're actually quite
little
literally in the middle here.
Not even in the middle.
We're just beginning.
It takes us so long to analyze these songs.
I like it better this way.
It is better, because you
rather
take a
than
breather from it. It's very intense otherwise.
Yeah, otherwise it's kind of waiting. It's like, sir, but this is good. This is good.
It's good to take all the hard work that you did and just break it up into little sections. We'll be back right after this with David Lee Roth.
I thought we'd play a little bit and then get into some commercials. Here's a bit known simply as Hire the Handicap, so you got to know it has something to do with Stuttering John.
We here at the Howard Stern Show have made it a long-standing policy to hire the handicap.
I'm trying to fool around with the tape thing. And it was the Manhattan borough president was there.
This young gentleman is a fine example of a Howard Stern Show employee with a debilitating stuttering handicap. Despite these shortcomings, the Howard Stern Show is proud to announce our Employee of the Month, Stuttering Johnny Mel.
Can I ask a question? Have you ever stuttered as you sang ever?
Ever what?
A few tips on employing the handicapped. Number 1, show tolerance.
Can I ask a personal question? If there's ever a candidate who stuttered, would you vote for him?
Shut up, you stuttering idiot.
Number 2, do not laugh.
So you mean if my guy babbled and spit out how I'm doing right now, you would, and I was running for president, would you vote for me or what?
Number 3, show respect.
You know why you're such a jackass? I'm going to tell you why you're a jackass.
All right. Number 4, show compassion.
I asked him about if I'm asking how we're going to distinguish.
And most of all, number 5, don't react to their stammering gibberish. Act as if everything is normal.
You want to talk to Steve Leeds has the information.
We hope you've learned an important lesson in citizenship. Remember, just because someone stutters doesn't necessarily mean they're stupid. However, in the case of Johnny Mel, it's just a coincidence.
Hi, I'm Jerry Seinfeld. You're listening to the Best of Stern on 92.3 K-Rock, New York's classic rock and sleep radio.
Hi. Before we get to that, let's finish up what we're doing. Here's the conclusion of that interview with rock superstar David Lee Roth.
David Lee Roth, you're here.
Live.
So good that we actually get to spend some time with you. It was one of these 15-minute deals.
Yeah, this was great. You run a very different kind of ship here, Howard.
I run a tight ship.
It is awesome. What a room. Wow, this is a hard room to work, boy.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to go backstage at one of your concerts again.
Well, I'll tell you, man, you asked some really great questions, Howard. But it's okay, because you got all the best answers,
That's
too.
it. There you go. I'll take that. Ooh.
I love this.
Look at that. David Lee Roth giving me a standing ovation. All right? But, of course, right now we're with David Lee Roth.
What, we got about, 10 seconds into the first verse of the first song?
Right, and I've already been told by your management we have 7 minutes left, so we have 7 minutes to go through the entire CD.
Well, you got a CD. Don't you have one of those things where you can just push through it real fast?
Yeah, okay, here we go. No, I don't want to go through it too fast. We have 7 minutes left till we get back to the war. So we have to get through the whole CD, Robin.
Okay.
In 7 minutes.
Yeah, so it would help if you just
I'm not going to
try to move fast. You better interrupt. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Now, we're in the middle of a little... Should I stick with a little...
It's hard to say. A little ain't enough. Or do you want to move on to another song?
Should I?
Well, finish this one out and see what you
All right,
think.
we'll just go a couple more minutes on this one, and then we'll come...
Because this is the single. Come on.
I want to sample a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
You know. You're rocking. That's what I like. You haven't aged. Good.
Well, you got to understand, Howard. This music is like a drug, man. It'll make you feel young and impulsive, you know?
Right.
And I want you to take it indiscriminately. And I want all of you out there to take it like before you go to school. And I want you to take it when you drive.
Yeah, but do you ever sit at home and listen to this, or do you ever, like, after you do it, you just put it away and that's it?
I don't listen to it too much. After it's done, you know, you kind of you live with it in the basement, and then you give life to it in the studio and the rehearsal and so forth.
And then you go out and perform it live.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of other things on the menu than besides what I do.
Is there a man alive, Robin, that puts more into his live show than David Lee Roth?
No.
A man
I
who
don't
gives the
think you could
public...
say anyone does a better job.
You are Mr. Show
Oh,
Business.
thank you
I've
much.
seen you perform live. You put a lot into it.
Yeah, give it 110%.
You do.
High
You don't go out
velocity.
there, you don't give a 15-minute show. You go out there, you give your heart, you sing all the songs, and that's it.
Yeah, it's got to look like it sounds. Come on. You know.
I don't mean this in any way to be sarcastic. You know who you remind me of? Uncle Milty. He does the same kind of
Uncle
thing.
Milty.
He gives you 100%. I saw him live.
Milty.
I saw him live, and this guy goes out there and he entertains. The same kind of attitude, I mean.
Never have guessed.
The same kind of
That
attitude.
you, Uncle Milty?
Yeah.
Uncle Milty.
Remember Mr. Television?
Howard, I think you need a cool cloth on your head.
Had a schlong the size of a garden hose. All right, let's get back to the music.
Okay.
What do you mean by that? You were born with a silver spoon.
No, it's born without a silver spoon.
Ah.
But I'm going to make a stir.
Cool.
It's poetry.
In other words, you weren't handed anything in life, right?
No.
You weren't handed any of this.
No.
It wasn't like somebody, it's not like John gambling.
You weren't a poor kid.
Oh, no, I wasn't a poor kid, but
But
it was a
not
while
like this.
before I had a television. It was a while.
Really?
Yeah, you know, we used to play. My pop was just starting in school when I was born. So, you know, for a number of years, there was no car parked in front of the house. You got to learn to be inventive, be imaginative.
Your pop was in school when you were, was he in high school?
No, he was just starting off in college to go to be a doctor.
Oh, so he had to sacrifice for a few years
They had a whole 8 years.
before he hit the mother load.
Oh, yeah, it was
Oh,
quite
man.
a while. You know, we moved around. It was...
Boy, I wish my old man was a doctor. A medical doctor?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're lucky. My father's not going to leave me anything. He has no assets.
Well, David doesn't need his father to leave him.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
You think your father will leave you something, or will he give it all to your sister because she doesn't have as much as you?
I think I'll probably give it all to my sisters.
And you don't care?
At this point, no, I'm pretty well set, Howard.
What do you like to invest in? Real estate?
Well,
like where are David Lee Roth's assets? I mean, you know, seriously. I mean, if anybody,
From the ones we
My
have
best
here.
ones?
I mean, what do you like? I mean, you don't put it in gold
He
or
keeps a lot of
something.
his assets.
What's the matter,
with him.
homeboy? Ain't you never seen an Enigma before?
Now, don't you? I mean, you got like a lot of. What happens when you walk into like your account and you got all this money, but they see you know you're kind of goofy and stuff, or do you get all serious with them?
No, I get all serious.
You
with
do?
it. Yeah.
Like you put your hair back in a ponytail and you're like, you know.
Making the money's the easy part compared to keeping it.
Right.
You know.
Oh boy. We don't know about that yet. We're working toward it though.
Well,
God. All right, let's get to the second track.
Okay.
All right, come on. This is fun. All right, now the second track is called.
All right, we know the first one's a winner.
Okay.
This is an odd title.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie is pussy whipped.
Oh, stop that.
Look at that.
Eddie.
Eddie, I want to go on the tour with you and David Lee.
Let me see that CD.
All right. The second cut is Shoot It. What does that mean? Is that like a sexual thing, like shoot it?
I don't know. You're gonna have to listen through to the lyrics there.
Okay.
You take a look.
Ah, now you're rocking. Every track rocks, right?
Just about.
You never let up.
Oh, I get blue about 2 out of 12 times on a weekly basis.
All right.
Eddie, David has a bigger lump in his pants than you.
Eddie, where's your lump?
Now, come on, honey. That's something I can't control. Just because David's got a big one. I can't help it. Yeah, but I'd like to be with a real man. Ah, honey.
You don't be with a real man.
Well, look at me, got me in her sights. Is this a blessing in disguise? A holiday on a Saturday night. Woo! Right between the eyes. Well, honey, I know you're never satisfied. Just a paradise on a roll. Got to take the
Little honky tonk there.
I like that.
Okay, here comes your chorus.
Check this out, Robin, right here.
Reckon.
You better shoot it, come on, baby, put your best shot on me.
Yeah.
Woo!
Do it. That's it. I'm locking myself in a hotel. This is nice.
So, just a little kind of, that's classic blues rock.
I would play that in my car, crank it up real
Oh,
loud.
I could see you cruising around.
I'd drive by a high school,
Oh,
see if
yeah.
she gets some young
Crank
girls to
this
look at me.
up real loud.
And you can't go over 25 or they can't see who's driving.
Right. Just go slow. Show them how hip I still am, even though I'm in my 30s.
Have the wind blowing through your hair.
With the wind in your beer can and your hand
Now
down
explain the next title on track 3.
Uh-huh. Well, this is a little more assertive here.
This one says, I laugh at Sammy Hagar, that tone-deaf bastard. That's an odd title.
Well, that's the subtitle.
That's
Come on.
an odd title.
That's
That
not
was
the
the
real
working
title,
What's
Howard.
on the album, actually?
I find Sammy very annoying. I don't know about you, man. He annoys me. First of all, do you ever see what he did on his solo efforts?
No, I never did.
It's a miracle he got a job with those guys. Would you hire a guy based on that body of work? I can't drive 55? Jesus.
Boy, oh boy.
Here, this is Sammy Hagar's solo album. Listen to this.
In junior high, we played battleship and put pencils in the ceiling.
Wow. Now, let's check out track 3, because you know what I'm thinking right now? Maybe you put the first 2 best tracks on the CD, and the third one will let us down.
Okay, I guess you better
let's
listen
see.
through 3 and 4 then. I guess
Let's just see. Ooh. Hey, how'd you do that? How'd you make that drum thing?
Well, what you do is you put the drum on there, and with the cymbals, and most cymbals go...
And do you play backwards?
Yeah, if you play it backwards, it goes...
See that again.
Okay, give it a shot here. These are the tricks of the pros here now.
It's interesting that you could do that.
Here you go.
I like that. You like that, Robin?
Yeah, that's nice.
See, you're rocking.
Gathering of the tribes.
You didn't let up.
All right, first verse here.
All right, here we go.
I'm off and running, clear off the beaten path. I don't know where I'm headed, but I know that I ain't coming back. If you don't know where I'm going.
What do you mean by that? I don't know where I'm going, but I know I'm coming back?
No,
I
you're
know.
not coming back.
What do you mean by that? In other words, you don't know what's in your future, but you know you're not going to go back to whatever it is you were.
Well, there's no dirt on the back of my uniform, Howard.
Right.
Straight ahead. Straight ahead.
Interesting man.
Come on, the rearview mirror's not good for anything but adjusting so you can see how cool you look getting somewhere.
God. Unbelievable.
Come on, I'm throwing pearls as fast as
I know,
I can dish them up.
You got them. You're outrageous.
More pearls.
No wonder you and Eddie didn't get along. You didn't know what you were talking about.
They're not buying it.
Well, David Lee doesn't make any sense. I don't know what he's saying, honey. Honey, just let him rattle on and stop making trouble. Come on, baby.
All right, now you got to go to the fourth because this is the important.
Valerie
one, right?
wasn't pissed off at you. She was confused by you. Well, how to explain yourself?
Well, it won't be the first time that happened.
Let me see if you keep rocking on track 4.
Okay, because track 4 is the one where you usually fall flat, right?
That's where a guy usually puts his worst track.
Okay.
Is that right?
Let's see what happened in your case.
Okay, turn it up now.
So far, I'm very impressed, I must tell you.
Thanks, Howard.
But let me see what happens on track 4, because this is where someone usually stashes the bad one.
This is the critical move here.
All right, let me give the title of this song.
Mm-hmm.
This is called Hammerhead Shark. All right.
No, it's not. It's called Valerie. How come?
It's called One Bitchy Pig, and the whole road crew gets fired, and the whole band breaks up, and everything just goes wrong. It's a very
That's
long
not a catchy title.
Yeah, but I think I know what he's alluding to. All right, here we go. You see, you didn't disappoint. You kept rocking. You didn't go for a ballad here. Nice.
A time of trouble and a time of grief. Kingsley with whores and begat thieves. The world was wicked and their hearts were cold. Noah said to his missus, well, it's time to go. Lord said to Noah, before you float that ark, you better save me his face for my hammerhead shark. Whoa, yeah, the hammerhead shark. Now, Johnny was bad, like to drink and fight.
Look at you. You're proud of yourself, aren't you? You're all full of yourself over there, aren't you?
Oh, it's an art project, Howard.
You knew
but
it.
Some of it belongs more on the refrigerator door under a magnet than in an art museum. Come on.
You know what it's like? It's like this is school and we're evaluating. You just passed the test. Huh? Right, Robin?
I'm just sitting there thinking, he sits down and this comes out. Jackie sits down.
Put thumbtacks on little girls' chairs just to see if they
Are you ashamed of yourself, Jackie? I hope so. I really hope maybe you've seen the light.
Would you never try to write a song again? Would you please?
Would you?
Those flies, oh, they get on my nerves.
Oh. He grew up on Long Island, not in the deep south.
Jesus. Somewhere near
Jackie,
the waters,
look
and mutiny
at
on the
David.
high seas.
Look at David Lee Roth. That's a songwriter.
Repeat after me, Jackie. I will never.
I will keep writing songs.
Why did Alex Van Halen drool like a mental patient?
Yes,
I give up. Why?
Because he had flies. Flies.
All that I deserve.
Well, you rock down on this
It's
album.
growing on me.
I was afraid.
More like athlete's foot than fine wine, but...
I was afraid that you wouldn't keep rocking on this album, yet you did. You didn't disappoint.
All right, well, see what happens when we get steamy. And try 8 bars of the next one here.
All right, track
Test
5.
Test it up.
Okay. This is what they call a focus group. You play this, you see if people like it, right?
Okay.
Remember when Bon Jovi did that? He put a bunch of teenagers in a room, see if they liked the album.
I don't remember that.
Well, that's what he told everyone he did. He didn't do any such thing. Stupid. And if he listened to a bunch of dopey kids, what does he know? You're supposed to have confidence that your music is good.
I think so.
You didn't sit there and test it on people, did you?
No.
Yeah, thank God.
No.
Oh. See, complete change now. This is kind of sexy. Right, Robin?
Oh, yeah.
You're a woman, you know. Imagine David
I
Lee
think
all...
he just did. He's smoking a cigarette.
Imagine David Lee all naked during this song, dripping wet from his shower.
Wrapped in a towel.
He comes out and he unveils himself to you in all his loveliness.
Like in slow motion, like a perfume commercial, baby.
What would you do? Did you rub some hot oil on him and
I'd probably faint.
probably pass out?
I'd just faint.
There you go. Takes out that uncircumcised monster of his. Huh? Lays it on you.
The hammerhead shark?
Yeah, the hammerhead shark. Yeah, there you you go.
How? Robin says, me know how. When?
Hey, David, can you quiet down? I'm trying to hear the song.
I always heard it said that the truth will set you free.
See the background, girls?
With the way through. Well, how can I believe? Smoky Mountain got to blow.
Sounds like an Emmanuel movie in the background.
Right now, I think
See, I could see this. You're in concert, right?
Uh-huh.
You just kicked out a whole bunch of tunes, and all of a sudden the crowd settles down a little bit, and you come out and you start doing this.
It makes some pressure.
You get that, you get that sort of hiss in the air. You know what I mean?
Steam.
Yeah, the steam.
Put the red lights on.
You come out, man, and all you're wearing is this big leather sack around your genitals.
Oh, jeez.
Just have it hanging below your knees, man.
Man.
Nuts, huh, man? That's all you're wearing, man. Just that big sack. Other than that, you're totally nude.
Don't let
butt
him
cheeks,
stage
everything.
this for you.
Your entire butt cheeks are sticking out and everything.
So you already saw the designs?
Sure. Look at Robin over there, huh?
He's crazy.
Mrs. David Lee Roth. Robin just fainted over there.
Man down in the line, boss.
There you go.
Drink of water here.
Huh?
Drink of water. Woman down.
All right, one more track.
Here,
Say
Reed.
track 9, because
Okay.
that's usually by track 9 you've given up.
Okay.
You figure so you got enough hits.
Okay.
All right, let's see what happens. I'm just randomly picking numbers.
Sure. Pick it in. Which one is this?
This is called...
I don't know them by number. Which one is this? I don't play.
Valerie is a dog.
Oh, stop it.
No, here it is. This is called Last Call.
Okay.
Okay. You wrote this when you were feeling kind of down and out, right? You were
Yes.
just like you were at your low point.
It is a low kind of point.
Okay, here it is. See?
That doesn't sound like a low point.
I'm going to buy this album. I'm going to play it in my car.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. There's the test.
There it is. You know, I was afraid you lost it. I didn't know. You know, I didn't hear from you for 4 years. I thought maybe that's it. That's all the music you had in you.
Hey, spin around. Try the very last track. That's a good. Try that. That's always the best test,
All
right?
Track 10?
It's got to dwindle down the very last.
there's 12 tracks?
12, yeah. Come on, I've been gone a while. I gave you 12.
Yeah,
Come
12
on.
tracks.
Here you go.
Whoa. See, I like this. You like this, Robin?
A little acoustic action.
Here you go.
Yeah. Exactly, Robin.
Surprise you.
Every once in a while, you throw in an acoustic one. This should be your next single. What do you think? Oh, he's playing guitar.
Little Jason Becker.
No wonder you fired those other guys. That guy's better than Steve Vai, isn't he?
Who needs him?
It's blues based, you know.
And Steve didn't look all that good on stage, let's be honest.
Well, it's
Wearing them big Superman boots and stuff.
I had a tube thing, you know, with the heart guitar.
Yeah, who needs that? Really, you think about it. You know, that's gimmicky.
Yeah.
You know what that song is called?
What?
The Van Halen's parents were brother and sister.
Oh, see.
Just like the army, I was doing all I could do. I was feeling it's so awesome. You might be the steady. She said, honey, read the small print if you want to be with me. When it comes to you in fashion, you are total emergency. Up the middle, that's
great.
That's the game.
Very tight.
That's the point, you're never the same. Tight, it's still free. Shot right through the brain. Rapping stars and that ain't all. Yes, let's rock down the drain.
Well, there you go.
That's good. Right there. Very good.
There you go, man.
You did it. You put out a good album. Well, that's your job.
You want to try one more? Spin one more.
All right,
I'll give you
okay.
a little bit of a different taste here. Try Sensible Shoes. I think that's
Number 8.
One
Number 8.
on the second side. They don't go side by side on CDs
No, in
anymore.
CDs there's no side.
No speaky digital, ladies.
Hey, you're mixing it up. I know what the game plan is here. I'm not musical, but I know the game
I
plan.
began to discern a pattern.
What do you give it, Robin, a 9.8? I feel like we're on the Dick Clark dance show and we're evaluating each disc. I bet you do. What do you got, a Ferrari?
51 Mercury lowrider.
What do you got?
I got a 51 Mercury lowrider. If on a humid day, if you're lucky, you can slip a pack of cool cigarettes right in between the back bumper and the pavement.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What's he talking about, Fred?
My grandfather had a 51 Ford, but it wasn't a low rider. They're just real low to the ground. I mean, I don't know if this thing goes up and down like those Mexican.
Yeah, it bounce up, got hydraulics.
There you go. I know what that
Got a
is.
convertible on that?
Oh, yeah, it's a permanent convertible. We torch the top off.
And you drive around Los Angeles? Like you know, don't people see you? Does it bother you?
Yeah, hopefully.
When you're in that kind of thing? You don't care? Wow.
There you go. Well, you got to live it.
Now, this track is called Valerie is a Pain in the Balls. What is that all about?
We got a good job.
Yeah, you're rocking. You're rocking. You know what you have to do. You're getting the job done.
I'm funny, so why am I lonesome, honey? That gypsy said the problem with you need some sensible shoes.
That's good.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Who's playing the harmonica, you?
Me. That's
you, isn't it?
For lack of a better term, yes, I'm playing the harmonica.
Like Dylan.
A little instrumentality there, huh?
Yep. Very good. You did it.
All right.
I want to thank the great David Lee Roth, Robin.
I was going to say, I didn't hear one keyboard.
Yeah, right. You kept all that out of there, right?
Well, it's hidden in there, in the backwards
Smart.
messages we use the keyboard.
Nobody wants to hear that kind of junk. They want to just hear straight ahead rock and roll.
You want to hear the real stuff, huh?
It's just amazing how you freed yourself from those guys, and you put out product. They call it product in the record business.
Is that right? I didn't know what you meant.
This is not music. This is a product. Spots? Oh, I didn't know that.
Are you headed
I'm
there?
sorry.
You headed home?
I didn't realize that. Keyboards suck. Billy Joel should be doing weddings. Right?
Ashes to ashes, huh?
I want to thank David Lee Roth with the great new album, A Little
you.
Ain't Enough. David Lee Roth, so look for a picture of a smiling Satan on the cover. Because he's laughing at Satanism. Right. You love the devil.
Howard, you're still the best.
Thanks, man. So are you.
Still on the top.
And you come by and see us anytime you want.
Absolutely.
It's good seeing you again.
David Lee Roth, everybody.
Thanks, y'all.
Hello,
Anyway, we haven't heard from these guys in a while, but our old friends Bob and Ray stopped by. They were sitting in for Howard one day, and Penthouse Pet Sandy Korn called in. And here's what happened.
What is